What is up, everybody? Back with another top 10 here, and with this one, it's going to be my 10 favorite bands, starting with the letter D. Trying to get through all the letters of the alphabet. I've got A, B, and C. You can check out if you haven't seen those yet, but just like any other top 10 list, I run through my 10 favorite bands here, but this time starting with the letter D, and I'll say that D is definitely the toughest letter I've gotten to yet. A ton of amazing bands, tough to narrow this down to 10, so I got a couple honorable mentions I'll be giving at the end as usual. And it was tough to put this list in order because I love all these bands, but I'm going to give it a go here with my number 10, and that's going to be DragonForce. Some people like to hate on them, but I've always been a big fan. Going back to the Guitar Hero days, I got into that, and I love Through the Fire and Flames. Great shred on that song. Herman Lee and Sam Totman are amazing guitar players. Good vocals from ZP Thart, who was their singer at that point, and you know, they've got some really good albums, and I've seen them live. They were one of my favorite shows I've been to. Just really great, fun show. Really great live performance. It was really cool to see Through the Fire and Flames, but they've got several awesome albums. Their debut, Valley of the Damned, great blend of, you know, power and speed metal. Sonic Firestorm's awesome, and of course, Inhuman Rampage, but great band. Love them, so they are my number 10. My number 9, I've got Dissection, which, definitely a big style difference between them and DragonForce. So we got some melodic black metal here, which is pretty much like my favorite genre at this point, black metal as a whole, but melodic black metal, I love. Dissection, they blend in some elements of melodic death metal as well, but John Notveet, great musician. He's a really cool voice on their albums, great singer, and, you know, really good guitar player. First two albums from them, absolutely amazing. You got The Somberland and Storm of the Lightsbane, really, really great stuff. Classic, melodic Swedish black metal, and they came back after John had gone to jail for a while. Put out a third album, which I'm not too crazy about. It's called Rhine Chaos. You know, it's decent, but those first two albums is where it's at for me with Dissection. Just amazing classic stuff. Number 8, Deströyer 666, another black metal band. They blend in elements of thrash and traditional and stuff as well, but really great band, consistent discography. Originally from Australia, their main guy, KK Warslut, on vocals and guitar. The only constant member that's been in the band since the beginning, but, you know, good songwriter. As I said, all the albums are cool. Probably go with Unchained the Wolves, their debut, full-length, as my favorite, actually. But Phoenix Rising, Cold Steel for an Iron Age, really amazing. I Am the War God is one of the most just epic songs ever, especially that beginning, how it comes in real slow, builds up, is just freaking awesome. But Lone Wolf Winter, a lot of other great songs from Deströyer 666. I've seen them live once, a couple of years back. Gonna see them again in Finland not too long from now, about a month, 5 weeks or so. Really looking forward to that, but really cool band. Number 7, Darkened, Nocturn, Slaughtercult, another black metal band. I think the band is based in Germany. They've got some members from other places, though, like their front woman, Onalar. She does vocals and guitar. Great musician, really cool, unique voice. She's from Poland, I believe, but her voice is such a standout. Sounds like a freaking banshee. Just these crazy, you know, blood-curdling screams and screeches. Just really unique, very cool. A lot of cool albums. Nocturnal March from 2004 is one of my favorite black metal albums ever. Hora Nocturna, Sadorian Spell, a couple other great ones from Darkened, Nocturne, Slaughtercult. Also, Onilar does vocals for the band Bethlehem as well. Just, you know, her voice is so cool, and Darkened, Nocturne, Slaughtercult is just an absolutely amazing band. Number 6, tough to put them down here. Not, you know, I wanted to put them a little bit higher, but it's just tough for me because so many good bands with D. But Death Angel, got the cool Ultraviolent shirt. I've said before, they are my favorite thrash band to see live at this point. Just so perfect live, very heavy. They sound awesome. The guitar playing from Rob Cavastani is spot on live. It's spot on the freaking albums. This guy is a freaking beast. Love his guitar and his setup. You know, the tone is so good. Very heavy, very full. You know, great riff guy, and he's really great soloer as well. I think he's, you know, one of the more underrated players in thrash, one of the better players in thrash, and their other guy that's been there on all the albums, Mark Asageda, on vocals, and he still sounds awesome live. But I seen him open for Slayer and Anthrax in 2016. I saw them on a headlining tour in 2019, and I saw them on the Bass Strikes Back tour twice. So 4 times I've seen Death Angel. Amazing every time. They got a lot of good studio stuff. This debut from 1987, as I said, great classic album. You know, you got, the Ultraviolence, Frolic Through the Park from 88, Act 3, and then they broke up for a while, and then they came back, and they've had a lot of good albums. Killing Season, The Dream Calls for Blood, my favorite modern era album, but all of them are really cool. Next up at number 5, I've got Death. Awesome band here. Very, very consistent discography. Pretty much everybody says not a weak album in that catalog, you know, from the debut Scream Bloody Gore in 87 all the way up through The Sound of Perseverance in 98. That's pretty much a 10 or 11 year run of just freaking excellence. Chuck Schuldiner, he passed way too soon, RIP to him, but he was a freaking mastermind, musician and songwriter, great guitar, great vocals. You know, with Death, originally started out a bit more thrashy, aggressive death metal, and then as time went along, they got more progressive and stuff, very technical, which some people don't really love too much, but everybody's got to respect that musicianship. It's just absolutely insane. But my favorite is Symbolic from 1995, their second to last album. Sound of Perseverance, their last album, is really amazing as well, but love the early stuff as well. Leprosy, another one of my favorites, but freaking awesome band. Number 4, I got Dismember. Those are my 2 favorite death metal bands at this point, Dismember and Death. Just Dismember is freaking amazing, great, another very consistent band. They are they got that Swedish sound, very kind of muddy, you know, guitar tone and stuff, but they're very melodic at the same time. Basically, I always say they're like if Iron Maiden was a death metal band. Some very amazing dual guitar harmonizing stuff with the guitar players. David Blomqvist is just awesome on guitar. Looking at some of these albums, you got Like an Ever-Flowing Stream, their debut, which is freaking amazing, classic stuff. But even when you go up through their discography, like Death Metal from 1997, which is their 4th album, that one might be my favorite. I love the self-titled album from 2008, their most recent. Just all of it is awesome. Of Fire and Under a Blood Red Sky are a couple of my standout tracks. Those ones really showcase, you know, their melodic tendencies, some awesome different guitar parts that are very Iron Maiden-y in those songs, which I freaking love. My number 3 band, I got Dio. Great classic metal. Of course, Dio was formed by Ronnie James Dio and Vinny Appice on the drums after they left Black Sabbath, and you know, they come out and freaking put out Holy Diver, which is one of the greatest metal albums of all time. When they left Black Sabbath, very impressive. Stand Up and Shout to open that up. That Vivian Campbell guitar riff, so fast, awesome. Ronnie comes in with his amazing freaking voice. It's hard to describe just how amazing his voice is. Just so iconic, you know, instantly recognizable, powerful. Love the way he freaking sings, and I'm going to be mad forever that I never got to see Dio live. It's unfortunate, but I've got the music, a bunch of great bands that Ronnie was in, and his Dio band solo. I don't like calling it a solo band, but I guess some people will call it a solo band. But of course, a lot of great musicians alongside of him in that band. You got freaking Vivian Campbell, Craig Goldie, Rowan Robertson, some amazing guitar players. Vinny Appice, as I said, great drummer. Jimmy Bain on bass. But, you know, a couple of my favorite Dio albums, as I said, Holy Diver, Dream Evil, Lock Up the Wolves, some amazing, amazing stuff, Strange Highways, The Last in Line, Sacred Heart, all these are fantastic, great classic albums. Number 2, Dokken. I love Dokken, love their sound. George Lynch, guitar god. Don Dokken's voice, one of my favorites, very melodic. George, such a great, great guitar tone, great freaking riffs and solos. The first 4 Dokken albums are just amazing. Breaking the Chains, Tooth and Nail, Under Lock and Key, and Back for the Attack. Even some of their more modern stuff in the 2000s I really like a lot. Whether it's, you know, Lightning Strikes Again from 2008, Broken Bones from 2012. A lot of good stuff there with Dokken. I think they're working on a new album, so hopefully that comes out soon. It's been over 10 years now since a Dokken album, so I'm waiting on it. But my number 1 band, Dark Fortress. As I said, I'm a big fan of black metal. And Dark Fortress is one of my favorite black metal bands. They're from Germany, great melodic stuff. First album came out in 2001, Tales from Eternal Dusk. Pretty much all their albums are awesome. Profane Genocidal Creation, Stab Wounds, Seance, Eidolon, Alem. It's all fantastic. It's not too crazy and extreme most of the time. So if you're looking to get into black metal, if you like, you know, classic, you know, metal and thrash and stuff, and you're looking to get into black metal, you like some melodic stuff, check out Dark Fortress. You might like them, give them a chance. Between the singers, they've had two different singers. Azathoth, who was on their first 4 albums, and Morian, who's been on the last 4 albums. I like the first 4 a bit better. I like Azathoth slightly better, but I did see him with Morian, and it was an amazing show at Maryland Death Fest. The set list could have been a little bit better. The thing is, they weren't really playing too many of like the earlier songs, but you know, it was still awesome to see, and they're a freaking amazing band. So that is my number 1, starting with the letter D. The 11, well, yeah, I've got like 6 more bands here, so this was just like a random order, but in the 11th spot, just outside the top 10, I had Dark Angel. It can get confusing. We got a bunch of bands that start with Dark. We got Dark Angel, Dark Funeral, Dark Throne, Dark Forest, which is a cool, underrated black metal band from Canada. But all the Dark bands are fantastic. Def Leppard, those first 3 albums, great classic, new wave of British heavy metal. Dangerous Toys, good classic glam metal. Deneva, which is a band that I kind of recently discovered, saw them at Hell's Heroes. They were awesome, great live band, and they got a classic like 70s sound and look. Reminded me a little bit of Black Sabbath. Cool stuff, check them out. And I gotta mention Damn Yankees, even though they're more of a hard rock band, still a massive fan of theirs. My favorite supergroup probably, so I had to give them a mention. Love those 2 Damn Yankees albums, but that's all I got. I'm sure there are more that I didn't mention, so let me know in the comments. Give me your top 10. Let me know what you thought about my list. And as usual, you guys, till next time, thanks for watching.